New bike day. Yep, first new bike I've ever bought. I've always had second-hand used bikes, and because of that, all my bikes, I got good deals on them, of course, and they're nice bikes, but they're all a little bit big for me. This is a Bianchi Sprint. It's got Sram, Rival, AXS, eTap, 12-speed. That's a mouthful. Wireless Bluetooth shifting, which is phenomenal. I've only got 5 miles under my belt, but the shifting is, I mean, you push the button, well, I call it a button, but it's the paddle, and it just shifts. Click. No fuss, no muss, no sound, nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing but a shift. Yeah, so this eTap shifting is pretty cool. The right paddle, you push it, and it goes to a harder gear in your cassette. Left paddle, push it, it goes to easier. The shift up front, you do both paddles, and it goes to whatever gear it wasn't in. So if it's in the big one, you double shift, it goes to the small. So in the small one, you hit both of them, goes to big. It's pretty cool. What I like best about the shifting is, like on the Campies and Shimanos I've owned, when you swing the paddle over the shift, it's quite of a throw. What's cool about this, you just push the paddle, and it's just like a button. There is no throw, and it just shifts. That's it. And even like shifting to an easier gear, under load, grinding uphill, it's still just a click. That's all you hear from the derailleur, click. And if you're not putting any torque down, you hear nothing. Nothing, it just shifts. There's no noise. There's no noise. She's got hydraulic disc brakes. I haven't bared down on them yet to see how actually stoppy they are. Bedding them in first, getting them used to stopping. Oh, that wind. Tell you what, shifting from the drops is so much easier on this. So far I'm loving it, man. The biggest thing I gotta get used to is with the longer stem. My other bikes are big for me, so I have real stubby stems on them. So this handling is much more twitchy to me. And I feel kind of stretched out a little bit too. And I think that's just in my head. By measurements, I'm right in the sweet spot. I may go a shorter stem. It had a 110 on it, if I remember correctly, and we put a 90 on it. I might go down to a 70. But that, and then the seat, when I was setting out in the shop on the trainer, you know, setting it up, I was like, man, this seat's pretty nice. I'm almost 8 miles in, and I'm ready to throw it away. I have a Brooks coming though. Hopefully it'll be in the mail when I get home. And then I know that'll be fixed. So, yeah. And something to know with the SRAM wireless shifting. I don't know if the other companies have this too or not, but if the bike hasn't moved, the system kind of is off. And if you move it, or push the, I think it's called the Sram button, it turns it on per se, and it'll stay on for a minute or go into a sleep mode. So when you transport it in your truck or your car or whatever, take the batteries out. I left the shop with batteries pretty much full charged, and when I got home, the rear derailleur battery was down. I want to say it was down to like 40 or 35%, and it wasn't that long of a drive, so something to keep in mind. I'm probably going to wind up buying at least one more battery, maybe two, just to have them in the charged up, and maybe in the top two bag or in the saddle bag or something, just have a backup battery, just in case you get somewhere for the most part and you're like, fuck, I didn't take the batteries out. Now you get to a ride and you got almost dead batteries. That would really blow. So this bike is a tad lighter than the Vicious and almost 3 pounds heavier than the Mercs, which is quite a bit. But when you're riding it, you don't necessarily feel that weight. At least so far I haven't. Where you feel the difference between this and the Mercs is it's much more planted. The bumps are absorbed better, and I attribute that to the weight. But other than that, like, I would say the Mercs is like a light, fast sports car, and this is more like a sports sedan. Does that make any sense? It's really comfortable. Its bump absorption is on par with the Vicious, and the Vicious is steel, so it really absorbs bumps really well, and this bike does too. Another plus about the shifting, as a content creator, I mostly have a selfie stick in my hand when I'm videoing. That's how I get most of my shots. So sometimes, that being said, I get myself into situations getting a good shot, and like say down a good descent that's followed by a good climb. A lot of times the start of that climb, I can't shift because there's a selfie stick in my hand, and I gotta put that away before I can shift. And a content creator problem, right? But with this push button shifting, it's no longer an issue. So that's pretty exciting for me. One thing I do miss is the hub is silent. I miss that ratchet sound of the Campanello, which also serves as a warning to pedestrians at times. How you doing, man? So yeah, it's neither here nor there. I just kind of like the sound of the zzz as you're going down the hill. But this thing is stealth mode. See, right there I shifted wrong. It's usually when I'm trying to downshift, because I'm used to that right sweep to go to an easier gear, and now it's the left push button. Yeah, that's the seat. It's a Velo, man. I mean, it's alright, but that's the only thing that's limiting of it to me. But seats are subjective. Somebody else might sit on it and love it and not feel like anything. I need something else, so hopefully the Brooks will be there when I get home. That being said, it's a badass bike. I was going to meet East Shore Bikers for a ride today, but I figured first ride, let's keep it close to home, because I was going to ride to them and back. That would have been like 40 something miles. Probably not a smart idea on a new bike. So I figured do the Greenbelt. It has a little bit of everything. Hills, flats, turns, all that jazz. Nothing really big. A little bit of road work. A little bit of pea gravel in places, or crushed limestone, whatever you want to call it. So it's a good shakedown. And it'd be about 20 miles. But yeah, so far I love this bike. Love this bike. No buyer's remorse. Can't wait to change the seat. Yeah, I think I'll get a shorter stem. I think I'm gonna go down to a 70, and then get a carbon zero offset seat post. And I think it should be perfect. Right now it's pretty good. I don't know if I should just get used to it or what. We'll see after I put the seat on it. We'll go from there. No more talking, more riding.